Hello everyone. This video is going to be about food and what's going on in the SNAP benefits and the food stamp realm and how we can still eat and get our vitamins and stuff like that. But I was raised in the country, and when we got food, we very rarely got food, and then it didn't really even get any better once we moved to town. But um, our aunts and uncles had money. The aunts, my mom's sisters, had men that worked and um, took care of the family, and they ate well. Well, we were lucky we got a piece of bread or whatever, sometimes tomato soup and go to school and maybe come home and as a teenager I would have uh, open up a can of soup and that's what I'd have for lunch. But with today things going on, I mean things have gotten better for me because I'm able to control my own life now. I'm able to decide what I can eat and what I don't want to eat and how to spend my money to get that stuff with. But the other day I decided I wanted to get out and I've got a budget if I want to like go to McDonald's or someplace like that and grab me something to eat just for something different and I don't have to cook it. Well, I was while I was out, I was in the vicinity of a Sparkle grocery store, and I knew that they had uh, a lunch meat that I grew up having. Oh, I just loved this Isley's chip chopped ham. I did not want to get out and go in. I mean, it was fairly nice out, but and I didn't want to have to walk around. But I did have my walker in the car, which I very seldom use it anymore. But I got it out and I walked into the store and I went straight to the lunch meat place and I got me, which it was I think it was $4.59 a pound for chip chopped ham. Isley's chip chopped ham. I had been wanting some of that for I don't know how long. Well, I got 2 pounds of that, and that was $9, maybe a little bit more than $9 for 2 pounds. By the way, I've been eating on that ever since. Different different styles and different ways of making it. And I got me uh, a half a pound of American cheese, and then I got me a big package of buns. Don't really care for the buns and the bread anymore. Don't taste. I can taste what I talk about in the one video about the census. I can taste the chemicals in that bread. Well, anyway, so I got that. I went in and I stopped over at McDonald's and I got me a $5 meal deal, and I ate the hamburger on the way home. But so what I've done with that is, first, I mean, I didn't have no butter because I got to cut down on the butter, real butter. I don't do margarine anymore. And so, first couple of days, I just made me a sandwich of it with uh, cheese on it. Well, then I got the idea of getting my skillet out, and I put some shortening in there and or olive oil. Can't remember which that I used, but I put I put a big handful of chip chopped ham on the in a skillet, and then I got that one side browned a little bit, and then I turned it to the other side, and then I put a uh, thing of cheese on it. Oh, that was so good, and that melted so nice. And I put it on the bun, and of course the heat softened the bun up just right, and so I had that uh, for my meal for the day. I try to only eat once a day now because I don't want to eat a whole lot, but sometimes I'll eat a little bit before I go to bed at night. But that's one meal. And different things. Now, like today, what I did was I had my wheat bread, regular sandwich bread, and I I didn't have any butter again because I'm making a grilled cheese sandwich, but with uh, the chip chopped ham on it. So I kind of oiled the pan a little bit, with olive oil, and it didn't turn out the best way that I wanted it, but that's the recipe, I guess I'm telling y'all. Take take you start making your grilled cheese sandwich and put the Isley's chip chopped ham in there, and turn it till both sides is nice and golden brown, and if anything else you want to put on it because you can't take it apart once the cheese melts. But there's a meal. Another thing is one of the things that I like to do. Now I have those little jiffy packs of cornbread, which I haven't done the cornbread yet, but I will be before this is all over with. But make the cornbread like I did the biscuits in my uh, self-made Dutch oven, and just put it in the pan and make one great big solid piece out of it instead of making uh, little biscuit type things, and bake your cornbread that way. But all day though, that you've been cooking a pot of beans in the slow cooker in the crock pot. I like to put onions in mine. Now it used to be growing up before I decided to start putting them in the beans. I would cook the beans, salt and pepper, and then when they were ready to eat, I would eat either green onions or chunks of regular onions uh, with biscuits and fried potatoes. And so make a pot of beans. I like navy beans or northern beans. Uh, the pinto beans are good, and fry up some potatoes. And I like put onions in my potatoes, of course, the salt and pepper, and then you have your cornbread. No meat there, but the beans are the protein. So you've got all um, your essential your nutrients right there in that little bit of meal. And the reason why I'm one of the reasons why I'm saying this is because there's changes being made in SNAP and food stamp benefits, and they're going to do away with people buying processed food, um, junk food, which there's like potato chips and ice cream, and to me it depends on what they're going to call junk food. But potato chips is going to be one for sure. Soda is going to be another, and candies and stuff like that not going to be allowed to be bought with food stamps. So, which will allow everybody more to spend on the better food. But I still would prepare for, because I'm not on food stamps. I was, but I quit that a while back. But I would prepare for, I would get me I probably have 20, maybe a little bit more than that, bags of beans. And the potatoes are cheap. And so make sure you have some beans, which that'll give you your protein. And if you can't fry your potatoes up, if you don't have any oil to do that with, then you can boil them on the stove. Boil them first and then slice them up. And then if you have a little bit of margarine or a little bit of butter, something like that, just to coat the pan with, and it don't take much to fry them up a little bit, and then you can have your uh, possibly your cornbread or your biscuits and your beans. So have maybe you can buy some carrots and make you a pot of soup with your potatoes. Put some onions, and if you have mushrooms, get them little cans of mushrooms, and that the mushrooms kind of suffices, sort of give you a sense of meat in your potato soup, vegetable soup, whatever you want to call it. I used to make a big pot of. I'd cut up my potatoes, put my onions in there, and put some peas and carrots. Now, as far as the uh, I didn't buy things fresh. I bought everything in a can. So I would put a can of green beans in there, some peas, and some carrots, and of course my onions, and then I would add some stewed tomatoes, and that gave me a great big pot of vegetable soup. And if you had any meat that you wanted to add to that, fine. But again, we're getting down to the basics, so that if times do get a little bit harder, you're prepared with in one meal a day. I mean, here's another thing that people are going to have to learn to do. You do not have to eat 16 times a day. You don't have to have 50 snacks. Maybe you get you some apples, maybe a little bit of fruit here and there. Apples really are indigenous to this area here, uh, but get the fruits that are indigenous to your area where you live. Um, but people are going to have to start rationing themselves as far as food goes. You don't need a great big humongous breakfast um, to get your day started. Maybe have a piece of fruit, and if you only have biscuits, have a biscuit. If you only have cornbread, have a piece of cornbread. Just simple things, because with the way they're cutting, and they're cutting a lot of people out of food stamps, and what they're really trying to do is people that work, that need that extra help. There's not. I suppose there's going to be a limit on what you're allowed to make before you can get food stamps, but if you're hardworking and you fall on times where you need a little help, they're going to help you. But people that are having 6 and 7 kids at a time, and keep having, they're cutting they're cutting they're cutting that down to uh, different different ideas and different ways of no junk food. The kids are all being too obese anymore, and so what I'm saying for us here, learn to cut down on what you're eating. We don't have to pile our plate up with everything under the sun in order to have your tummy's full. and have the nutrients that your body needs. So, but those were my recipes that I used this week, and a recipe for vegetable soup from way back when. Uh, but remember, look into the food stamp thing and find out how it's going, because I expect everybody to do their own research. Don't take my word for it, because I've been known to be wrong. Just remember that. I've been known to be wrong. So, but I cannot wait till my hair gets longer, so I can put it up in a ponytail if I want to, um, and do the various things I want to do, and uh, have more room to do it in. And like I said earlier, I would like to have my own house that's big enough that in a big enough kitchen that if I want to date, uh, I can cook somebody a meal. I still like my independence, though. I like my independence. Uh, keep my own house, and I can still date, and they can go to their house, and I can stay at my house, or I can go visit their house, and they can cook for me. Maybe, I don't know. It's a dream. It's a dream. Um, but anyway, if you think you no, I'm so used to. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. But if you do believe you can, then do everything in your power to move in that direction. Have have your intentions for that, and make all your steps happen. So you all have a good day. We'll talk to you later.